What's going on, everybody? So, I'm here with the new ROG Ally mod case by Jsaux, and I've waited almost a month to get this case. Now, the big question is, has the wait been worth it? Well, honestly, no. I'm a bit disappointed in this case, and there's a lot to talk about in this video in terms of if you should buy the famous Jsaux mod case ROG Ally edition. So, as you can see in the video, unlike the kill switch case for the ROG Ally, the Jsaux mod case comes in appropriate white. And yes, that is a color because the ROG Ally is white and it needs a white case. Now, a lot of people might be wondering, would the case just end up getting dirty or scratched or scuffed? Well, yeah, all cases do. In fact, my black Jsaux mod case for the Steam Deck has had a good amount of scuffs, especially after living through a car accident. And of course, I'm expecting the ROG Ally mod case to get a few scuffs and dirty marks here and there. So only time will tell with this specific case, but as you can see, the case has a cover and a stand in the back, just like the Steam Deck case. But this mod case comes with a significantly smaller stand for the ROG Ally, and it more resembles the Nintendo Switch's stand. And it has a cute little Jsaux logo on it. It is kind of hard to take out the stand with your fingernails, and surprisingly, this stand underneath has a tiny magnet under it. So it won't just flap around like the other Jsaux mod case for the Steam Deck, because at a certain point, those tiny nails in the mod case for the Steam Deck start to wear out and loosen. And if you have them attached, it's just gonna flop around. But this mod case for the ROG Ally gets major points because underneath its stand, it actually has a magnet. Now, sadly, that's the only positive I have to say about the ROG Ally's mod case from Jsaux. So first of all, I waited way too long for this. If you want to get a case now, just get one from Amazon. I highly recommend ordering from Amazon over Jsaux official website. But of course, if you want to get items sooner, like I did and other people on YouTube, then ordering from the Jsaux website is the most recommended thing to do. So if you look at the case a little further, you can see that it doesn't cover any of the face buttons or analog stick or D-pad on the actual ROG Ally. It doesn't fit into any crevice of the face of the ROG Ally itself. It just kind of hovers around the edges. Now, that's a positive thing and also a negative thing because the top of the ROG Ally has a lot going on. It has the volume button, SD card slot, analog headphone jack, and power cable, as well as the light indicators for the battery and sleep mode. Now, for some reason, the top flap of this case kind of extracts back and sort of pulls back the entire top to the point it slightly covers the vent a little bit, which is not a good thing, including everything on the top, such as the USB cable, volume button, light indicator, and the power button. Now, this isn't only a power button attached to the ROG Ally, it's a fingerprint scanner. And in more than one occasion, I found myself incorrectly scanning my finger because the whole top of the case just retracts, which at one point or another may lead you to incorrectly scan your finger. And this is a huge negative for me. Usually cases end up doing this if you try to modify them, cut a piece off here or there, but I didn't modify this case at all. And for some reason, the top of it just makes almost everything, including the SD card, impossible to get to. I'm really just not a fan of the entire top piece of this mod case for the ROG Ally. And the fact that it covers some of the vent on the top is sort of dangerous. I'm gonna check to see if the temperatures are affected at all by this. But as of right now, it just doesn't seem like the mod case for the ROG Ally is ready. I was prepared to make a video praising this case. I was waiting a month on my hands and knees for this case, and I didn't have any kind of negative expectations. But from a lot of reviewers out there, I see that the mod case kind of slips back on the top, but they don't say anything about it. I feel like this is a huge deal that nobody is covering. And I get that sometimes plastic has to settle, or depending on the way you set the system inside of the case, it could affect the fitting of it. But I did everything I was supposed to, putting the analog sticks at risk, because this case is definitely not easy to put on your ROG Ally. If you care about every single bit and piece of the ROG Ally like I do, you're gonna care about how easy it is to put on your system. And it's quite difficult to put this case on your system because the grips on each side, even though they feel really nice, they are pretty thick. So you can't just stretch and fit them around the ROG Ally's grips. You have to actually place the ROG Ally in them and then stretch the top of the case onto the ROG Ally. But I made sure not to stretch it enough to the point that I ripped any part of it. and it still, for some reason, slips back as if I fit the system wrong into the case. Now, sadly, the problems don't end there with this case. The top cover for this case fits very awkwardly. Every time I try to set it, even if I have thumbstick caps on or off, it sort of misaligns if I'm not careful enough and pushes down on the analog stick, possibly causing damage to the analog sticks. And I'm not sure why they barely gave the analog sticks any room to fit into the case. So I put thumbstick caps on so I can at least know if the cover to the case is fitting correctly. And for some reason, the cover just stays awkwardly onto it while I try to fit it onto the case. It just doesn't fit correctly. It's extremely frustrating to try to get this thing on without potentially damaging one of the analog sticks. And at certain points, while I'm in the car, if I'm trying to get the cover onto the ROG Ally, the cover just stays stuck on top because it's fit so tightly. It doesn't really snap on like the Steam Deck's mod case from Jsaux, but instead it sort of slips and maneuvers onto the system in such an awkward way. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like they actually tested this case, but instead rushed it out. So as of right now, I'm just warning, this case is definitely in its beta phase. It is not ready for prime time. It doesn't feel like a finished product or an even tested product. In fact, there were a lot of negative reviews about those side covers for the buttons and analog sticks, also made by Jsaux. For some reason, Jsaux is half-assing their ROG Ally cases. Not sure why, but it does fit the buttons and analog sticks better when you're not putting the top on because the case completely avoids the buttons and analog sticks. And yeah, right now I'm pretty upset because I waited a damn month for this, communicating with Jsaux back and forth because those guys take forever to send me anything or send me any kind of updates. So that kind of made the experience a little bit of a stinker. And yes, I said stinker, but it's sort of a bittersweet end because the case itself just doesn't feel right on the system. Now, of course, I'm just going to stick with this case because I'm too scared to take it out. I'm afraid that one of the triggers are going to pop off if I try to take this off again. It's just an incredibly tight fit to the point that the top of the case starts slipping off because the fit is so tight. It just doesn't seem like a good enough case for my ROG Ally. It looks awesome, and in concept, I can see this working out for somebody, but as long as the top just continuously slips off and retracts, it's just going to be a nuisance to use. If you want a case that fits perfectly like the mod case for the Steam Deck, you're not getting it here. I've never been disappointed in Jsaux, but as of right now, I officially just would say as an ROG Ally fan and constant user, I do not recommend the Jsaux mod case. It just doesn't seem like love was put into it. As for the kill switch case, I would hold off on that too because we all saw how the kill switch Steam Deck case ended up, and Jsaux killed it with the first mod case for the Steam Deck. But I don't have too much confidence in D-Brand when it comes to their ROG Ally kill switch case, and it's coming in black. I don't really think black suits the ROG Ally. White definitely suits it a lot better, especially if you clean your hands a lot like I do. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed in this case. Overall, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It just barely does anything that it's advertised to do. For more example, the cover of the mod case, if I shake it a little bit, it starts gradually slipping off as if it's just not a right fit for the mod case, which is strange because it's made for it. It just doesn't seem like Jsaux did the fitting correctly for this mod case in particular. And like I said, it looks amazing. It looks better than the mod case for the Steam Deck, although the Steam Deck mod case does have a see-through back, and I would have preferred a see-through back so I can see the holographic strip on the ROG Ally, but unfortunately it covers the entire back and just makes the system completely white. And like I said, I don't like putting the cover on too many times. The stand, unfortunately, it's a Nintendo Switch style stand, so if you have it on a bed, be prepared to pick it up over and over again after it just falls from a light breeze. If you intend on using the stand on a bed, I don't recommend getting this. But if you're using your ROG Ally with the mod case on a desk, it's going to stay steady on that desk pretty well. But unfortunately, on soft surfaces like rugs, if you're a kid and you want to play the ROG Ally on a rug, don't get it if you intend on playing this on a rug. But yeah, besides those things, which seem like pretty big deals, and they are. Like I said, the mod case for the ROG Ally looks incredible, but that's about it. It's not really functioning as well as I thought it would. In fact, it's well below my expectations. So yeah, I gotta condemn this case, and I'm just not gonna recommend it. Unfortunately, Jsaux has disappointed me this time around. But yeah, did you guys get the ROG Ally Jsaux mod case? And if you did, are you having the same problems that I'm having? Maybe I just have a slightly defective or non-form-fitting version of the case. Either either way, I don't want to wait another month to get this thing. I'm just pretty much done with Jsaux for now, until they come out with something else that'll catch my eye. This will be the last Jsaux product I'll get in a long time, mainly because I just don't want to wait so long to get the product. Their shipping times really suck. But anyway, guys, sorry I had to be a downer today. It's really just a disappointment to me. I'm going to use the case anyway, but there are a lot of issues with it that I think most people wouldn't appreciate. And I just think that top part slipping off and potentially covering the vent is a malfunction that should be fixed. And until that happens, I just can't recommend it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a good one. Later.